Test, test, test. Are we live? Yeah, I think we're live. Hey, everybody. Hello to Nebulation. Yes, I am moving to Detroit in September. Welcome to the Sky's the Limit Aviation channel, the Friday night live stream. My name is Michael, also known as Sky's the Limit. Welcome aboard. Happy to have you with us. We're doing some Delta Ops this wonderful Friday evening, heading up to Detroit in the PMDG 777-232LR, Spirit of Atlanta for Delta Airlines. We're just getting the passengers boarding, getting the luggage all buttoned up. Go ahead and jump into the cockpit and start finalizing our checklists. Yeah, I saw that. Nebulation says Denver's going to have an event and they're cooked. Yeah, they are, which is why I just figured I'd just do a straightforward, easy flight out of Atlanta and head over to Detroit and just kind of stay out of the middle of that. So I hope everybody's doing good this Friday evening. We got our pre-departure clearance. Well, actually an auto pre-departure clearance, just giving us our squawk in case we have any ATC on the way out today. So Atlanta to Detroit, going out on the Paget 2 RNAV departure and going in on the Hot Rod 2 RNAV arrival into Detroit, and it'll be the ILS Zulu runway 22 right, and we're departing off of 8 right here in Atlanta. So hopefully a nice quiet flight. Again, we're working through trying to solve some of the errors that we were getting with the flight simulator kind of sticking slash freezing slash whatever it was doing the last few live streams, and I think we figured it out by rolling back the graphics drivers, a couple of updates, and the live stream from Wednesday actually went pretty well. So let's go ahead and close up some doors. And go ahead and arm all the doors. I think I have to disarm and then arm. Okay, all the doors are armed. Okay. Beacon lights coming on. Okay, hydraulics. Okay, right electrical auto. C1 and C2 are on. Okay, those are out. Left electrical on auto. And C1, C2 air on auto. Our tank is empty. Pumps on. Cross feeds on. Flight deck doors and windows are closed and locked. Tanks are on auto. And start the APU and the generator. And I have to remember that everything on the 777 is kind of automated, so everything just kind of just pops on all by itself. Okay, APU bleed is on auto. Engine bleeds are off. Pushback preparation is complete. Got my clearance from nebulation, except I'm going to 370 instead of 33. All right, let's go ahead and disconnect the jet bridge. Go ahead and get ready for pushback and departure. Yeah, waiting for other services to finish. Blah, blah, blah. All right, departure briefing. Be departing off of 8 right here in Atlanta. Flaps are going to be set to 5. VREF speeds are 134, 134, 149. After 80 knots, we'll only abort for engine fire, engine failure, or any failure to maintain directional control of the aircraft. After V1, we will handle it as an in-flight emergency, continue our takeoff roll. After takeoff, if we must return to the airport, we'll then declare an emergency with air traffic control, get vectors to hold and run checklists, and then when we're all set, we'll request a return to the airport. Other than that, normal departure instructions as briefed in Navigraph Charts and standard calls for radio traffic on VATSIM. Departure briefing is complete.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Going to be RNAV to Ronnie. Initial heading of 95 degrees. And then a 083 heading to Ronnie. Let's see, we want I want the nose to the right, tail to the left. Oh, yeah. Remove the wheel chocks.
Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Starting our pushback, we'll start engine number 2, then engine number 1. Are these supposed to be? There we go.
Please set parking brakes. Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Yeah, I'll tell you that in just a second. Okay, starting engine number 1. GSX is in a hurry to get me disconnected. All right, good ignition on engine number 1.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear. Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Hey Frank, good evening, sir. Welcome aboard. All right, before taxi checklist, TCAS is on, terrain mode's on, flaps are set, 5 indicating 5, auto brakes RTO, bleed airs are on, stab trim set to 3 units, transponders at Tara. Recall has been checked. Taxi lights are on. Anti-ice is on auto. For taxi checklist is complete. Atlanta traffic, Delta 1031 heavy, 6 south, taxiing to runway 8 right via Delta Foxtrot, Atlanta. Turn our APU off, everything looks good here. Okay, cabin is signaling ready. We'll see you back in a bit, Nebulation. A little bit of an overcast day here in Atlanta. Temperatures in the mid-80s. Had a little bit of rain late last night and today. Cooling things off just a little bit. There was an Emirates 777 over here earlier. I don't know if he's... Looks like he's long gone now, so... And right turn on hotel, and then we'll go ahead and get ready for our departure. Alright, for takeoff checklist, auto throttle arm, landing lights on, strobes on, runway turnoff lights on, logo lights and wing lights are on. For takeoff checklist is complete. Not exactly new. From what I understand, the PMDG 777 for Microsoft Flight Simulator was just released in the last day or two, but we've had it available on Prepared for a while now, so... So expect to see a lot of 777s out flying around as all the Microsoft Flight Simulator fanboys and girls start buying up that pretty plane. Alright, looking at the TCAS, don't have any traffic conflicts. Got nothing on the ground. We are cleared to go. This is a 10,000 foot runway, so let's do it. Atlanta traffic Delta 1031 heavy, departing runway 08 right, departure to the north, Atlanta. Turn on our ACARS. 80 knots, check.
V1.
Rotate. V2. Positive rate climb.
You're coming up. This thing is an insane climbing machine. Atlanta traffic, Delta 1031 Heavy passing through 10,000 feet, departing to the north. Final call, Atlanta. One thing is for sure, the 777 climbs like an absolute beast. This is just an insane aircraft to fly. Above 18,000 feet, altimeter going to standard.
Atlanta traffic, Delta 1002, taxiing to runway 08 right, Atlanta traffic.
Got to switch over to Unicom. And pass her through 25.5 for flight level 370. So I hope everybody's having a good Friday night. Welcome to the Friday night live stream for the Sky's Limit Aviation channel, heading up to Detroit in the PMDG 777-232LR. Or as my close friend Matt Cochran says, the lure for some Delta ops tonight, and we're running prepared version 5.4. So today's flight is an actual flight that Delta used to fly Atlanta to Detroit in the 777-LR back in the day before they were retired, which will be 4 years ago this October. It's still really hard to believe that Delta retired out the 777s. Hoping that we'll get some more ATC online as the evening progresses. Most VATSIM events usually start at about 8 o'clock Eastern, midnight Zulu time, so expect to see some ATC action as we get a little further into the flight. And leveling off at flight level 370. And that will be our cruise altitude for today. Smooth sailing so far, so we'll go ahead and turn the seatbelt signs off. Not seeing any significant weather on the Navigraph Charts weather. Looks like most everything is south of Atlanta. And looking a little bit further north on our route, looks like we have pretty much smooth sailing. Might get a little bit of light rain heading into Detroit. Looks like that might clear out by the time we get down. So we'll keep an eye on the weather. And hopefully as more ATC gets online, we'll have some ATISs that we can pull our weather off of. If not, I have an app on my phone that'll give us a somewhat accurate depiction of our weather situation heading up. So over the last couple of days, I've been tweaking a few of the settings in Prepared. Try to smoothen things out a little bit as far as the performance goes. I'm trying some different shaders. Kind of like the current shaders that I have on here, and I'm using a program called RD Shade. And I downloaded some presets and have been kind of trying them out, and this particular one kind of enjoying. We'll see how that goes. And also another thing that I did was, for the past few live streams, I've been getting a message stating that YouTube is not getting enough data to maintain a good stream, even though my upload speeds are really good. So I just went ahead and just set OBS to basically connect to the YouTube channel and basically control everything. So we'll see how that goes on the next few flights. And we'll just play it by ear. But I think the big issue was the simulator kind of sticking / freezing. And I really think that it was a issue between Active Sky for Prepared and the current drivers for my NVIDIA graphics card. So I rolled the drivers back a couple of updates, and Wednesday night's live stream went very well. Had no issues whatsoever. Haven't had any issues yet today. We'll see if that all works out. We'll knock on wood and make sure everything's working okay. Yeah, if you're just joining the live stream, welcome aboard. My name is Michael, also known as Sky's the Limit. And this is the Sky's the Limit Aviation channel, doing some Friday night Delta Ops in the PMDG 777-232LR. Heading up to Detroit from Atlanta. Getting a little closer to 8 p.m. Eastern, midnight Zulu. Hoping to have some ATC pop on because apparently there is a Denver event going on tonight. Right now the West Coast is lit up like a Christmas tree on VATSIM. But so far, Atlanta, Indianapolis, and Cleveland centers are offline. Chicago center's offline, as is Jacksonville, DC, New York, Boston, and if I didn't already mention Chicago, and Chicago Center are all offline, hoping that they drop on before too long. A couple of ideas brewing in my head for some multiple leg event flights. One of them that I might do in the near future is the Alaska Milk Run, which flies out of Seattle on Alaska Air and goes up into Ketchikan and several other small airports and ends in Anchorage. And normally those would be done on the 737-700, but I don't have that, so we'll just fly it on the 800. Or the halibut. And since Michigan will soon be my stomping grounds in the next couple months, I thought I'd just maybe do some regional flights around the Michigan area in the CRJ 7 and 900. Once I get those all sorted out and get my checklists made and do a few practice flights, get another aircraft under my repertoire. Oh, it's a number one mom joining live stream. Hello. You, and how are the kitty cats all doing? Oh. Hey, Rick, how are you, sir? You guys must be working on tearing the garage down. That's awesome. I'm glad that's finally getting done, because that garage has made me worry a whole bunch. That's great. Hopefully you guys make some quick work out of getting that thing torn down. I saw your photo of the dipsy dumpster in the driveway for all the scraps. Oh my gosh. Is that like the garage and the electrical and everything else related to it was basically never up to code? If that's the case, that's just crazy. Bodies I want to get rid of. No. None that I can think of. Alright, checking ahead on the flight plan and the FMC. Our first mandatory restriction will be at Buchan, and that'll be 280 knots and need to be between 24 and 270 on the way down into Detroit. Still have a little ways to go till we hit our top of descent. About, let's see, 10, okay, not 10, 9, $50, 69, 79, 85, 91, 100, and about another 200 nautical miles before we hit our top of descent. We are flying, actually coming to visit you up in Detroit. We're doing Atlanta to Detroit in the PMDG 777-232LR. Beautiful day for flying. Get back to our cockpit view. Hopefully another 5 minutes or so we should get some more air traffic control kicking in if there's this big West Coast event going on. So hate to go a whole flight without having any ATC. But we've done it before, we'll do it again. Hey, yeah, you guys are getting a little bit of rain, right? according to my Navigraph radar, to the north and to the south of you, there's a little bit of rain going on right now. So here's the rain down below right here that I have to fly through, and then here's the stuff a little bit up to the north that I'll have to duck and dodge around when I get into the area. So and I got a little patch just off to my east here. Should not be a problem though. Okie dokie. Number one mom says she'll be right back. Well, one can only hope that Indianapolis and Cleveland centers come online. We're already out of range of Atlanta Center as we track north to our destination of the Motor City. So the flight up to Atlanta from Fort Lauderdale on Wednesday was a real hoot to fly. Get some turbulence up above Orlando. That's pretty crazy, flying through, flying between a couple of thunder boomers. And just double checking some of the settings within the flight simulator itself to make sure we didn't have any issues. And the Wednesday night live stream went really, really well, and am grateful for that, and grateful for all the good folks who joined the channel and joined up on the live stream itself Wednesday. That was really sweet to see so many of you guys, especially fellow VATSIM pilots, online the other day. Really, really appreciate y'all. Getting just a little bit of choppy air up here. We're going to go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign back on. And for our arrival in Detroit, it's going to be the ILS Zulu runway 22 right approach. And once we hit the ground, Alpha 24 will be our gate at the McNamara terminal. Be a flaps 25 landing, and our final approach speed is going to be 139 knots. And our gross weight on arrival should be about 428,000 pounds. And auto brakes probably 2. Two right's a 10,000 foot runway. With auto brakes 2, we'll probably just jump off on probably Alpha 3, and then it will be Quebec. And Juliet to the South Terminal, which is the McNamara Terminal. And again, Alpha 24 will be our parking. One of the things that I was really shocked is there is no really good freeware or payware scenery for Detroit Metro Airport. Hello, better half. Rebecca has joined the live stream. Getting into the Christmas spirit because Christmas in July movies are starting on Hallmark. He's all happy, excited for that. He always is every July and every November right after Thanksgiving when all the Christmas shenanigans all start on TV. But anyways, back to the previous conversation. It's just really weird that there's no payware and freeware scenery for Detroit. There was a project out there that was supposed to do some freeware scenery, but nobody's seen or heard from them in 2 years, and I think everybody's just kind of given up. Yes, Frank, there is Christmas in July if you're into those kind of movies on the Hallmark Channel. And for the 12 years that the better half and I have been together, that is a mainstay under this roof that there are Christmas movies playing on the Hallmark Channel. It is indeed nice if you're totally into the Christmas vibe like the better half is. Kind of thinking about it, it's going to be one of the things that I really, really miss. In the future. Even though I'm not the biggest Christmas person in the world. Better half always called me the Grinch. Because I was always bah humbug about the whole holiday thing. But over the years, my heart's kind of melted a little bit about the whole Christmas thing, and I've been a lot better. I've been a lot better about it over the years than I have been in years past. So. And don't get me wrong, there's a couple of Christmas, I mean, I do, there are some Christmas movies and things that I do like. I do like the original Grinch and Charlie Brown Christmas, and I can tolerate one or two iterations of the Jim Carrey's The Grinch. And there's a couple of other movies that have been on Hallmark and stuff in the past that I really like, so. I'm not as bah humbuggy as I used to be. Years ago. A top of descent should be about another 120 nautical miles out. Again, that's our first real restriction will be between 27 and 240. If we get closer to top of descent, we'll go ahead and program that into the MCP as we head down. And hopefully should be on the ground in about 30 minutes into Detroit. So back to regional Michigan flights. There's a lot of flights in and out of Detroit, going into Grand Rapids, Traverse City, not sure if I have to. Okay, let's do this. Let's pull up. Go ahead and pull up my virtual pilots union. Let's go to pilot operations, scheduled. wild card that, and a SAW, which is Sawyer. Okay, so there's a, okay, so Sawyer International happens to be the old Air Force base that I was stationed at, and it's just now a regional airport. And since I have the CRJ now from Aerosoft, I can do Detroit to Marquette, which is in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And I've been working on sprucing up the scenery at that airport. And I can do some legacy flights with North Central. So, yeah, a lot of neat little regional airports in Michigan to fly out of with the CRJ in the near future once I get that all figured out and do a few test flights in it. So less than 30 minutes, so we're on the ground in Detroit. Still no other ATC online, and that's just really disappointing. I really thought with a event going on Friday night that there would be some more East Coast ATC online, especially for anybody departing out to the Denver area, which is where I guess it's my understanding the event is based tonight. But that's okay. Frank agrees that it is kind of weird that the East Coast that normally would be online on a Friday night where there's an event going on, and they're not. So, fairly strange. And definitely looking at the VATSIM map and seeing a lot of 777-300s and 777-200s. So skies are lit up with people who have bought the PMDG 777 for Microsoft Flight Simulator over the last couple days, and they're trying them out. And hopefully most of them know what they're doing. Which is why I guess it's nice that we're avoiding any events today, because I don't want to be in the middle of all that chaos. Need to double check something in the FMS. Okay, 111.95 for the ILS. That's automatically gets set up in the FMC in the 777, which is cool. That's one thing I don't have to worry about. It's always nice just to go ahead and double check that. Make sure it's correct. Yeah, there's likely going to be nobody in Detroit by the time I get up there. There's, looks like one departure and one arrival. And probably not likely going to be any ATC either, so that kind of stinks, but oh well. So it'll be CTAF frequencies. And CTAF for Detroit Metro is 135.00. Tune that in right now. Lake Erie just showing up on the horizon just off the nose. Top of descent coming up in just about 35 nautical miles. Go ahead and run through our descent checklist real quick. For our approach briefing, it's going to be standard arrival into Detroit on the Hot Rod 2 RNAV arrival. For the ILS Zulu 22 right approach into Detroit Metro. To be a collapsed 25 landing. Final approach speed's going to be 139 knots. Our final approach course will be 216 degree heading. In the event of a missed approach or go around, we will climb to 1,100 feet, and then it'll be a climbing right turn to 4,000 outbound on the Delta X-Ray Oscar VOR. To the Delta Oscar Hotel November Tango intersection, and we will hold there and route back in for a second go at the arrival. Approach briefing is complete. And set our altitude, and it's going to be 240 in the box. And we'll be starting down shortly. And since we're not likely going to get an ATIS in Detroit, let's go ahead and pull up our handy dandy VTAR app, and we'll go ahead and just look it up ourselves. All right, current weather in Detroit as of 31 minutes ago. Winds are 090 at 5 knots. Unlimited visibility. Temperature 23 Celsius, dew point 17. A few clouds at 7,000. Scattered at 11,000. Overcast at 14. Altimeter is 2991. Yeah, leaving 370 and starting our descent into Detroit. Knock on wood, we've had no issues with the internet connection at all as far as broadcasting up to YouTube. Whenever you give it some speed brakes, you get a caution alarm. You want to be mindful of that and don't freak out when you hear it. Because this is a slippery bird and you can, the speed can get out of control really fast. our flight path looks like it's going to take us just off the western end of Lake Erie as we head into Detroit. So the trick that I've learned to making sure that you stay on the right descent profile is prior to hitting your current restriction, go ahead and plug the next one in. So our next one's going to be 15,000 feet at Kraken. Actually, no. I should be setting that to 12. There we go. Staying one step ahead of the autopilot. Keeping the altitudes updated in the MCP. Definitely the one thing that I've learned having study level aircraft in my FMC is you do treat them like the real thing as far as the settings go and all of those little things that real life pilots encounter. When you don't crash, you don't kill anybody. Which is a good thing. Because it is, after all, just a simulator. We're going to go ahead and turn off the terrain. And below 18,000 feet out of the flight level, so go ahead and reset our altimeters. Then down to 12,000 feet. We'll stay there for a short little bit as we get into the approach. Got a 38 knot crosswind pushing the nose slightly to the right. We are on approach into Detroit. Gonna go ahead and go flaps 1 at this time. And we'll go ahead and switch over to CTAF in Detroit. Once we get below 10,000 feet, we'll go ahead and make our first call out. And as you can see here on the display, here's our missed approach go around routing. Airport's just off to our right. Flaps 5.
Metro Tower Delta 2601 left base from runway 22 left.
Detroit traffic, Delta 1031 Heavy is on the downwind for the ILS Zulu runway 22 right approach, Detroit. If we're lucky, we might just have a parallel approach here. I don't know. We'll see what happens here in a second. Getting that error again from YouTube, not receiving enough video to maintain whatever. Detroit traffic, Delta 1031 Heavy turning right base, ILS Zulu runway 22 right approach, Detroit. Flaps 15. Localizer's been intercepted. And glide slopes have been captured. Flaps 20. Gears coming down.
Turn right to destination 2601, vacate runway 2 right.
Detroit traffic, Delta 1031 heavy, 10-mile final, runway 22 right, Detroit. Oh, welcome back, Nebulation. What's 25? Excuse me. Good glide slope, good localizer. Detroit traffic, Delta 1031 heavy, 5-mile final, ILS, runway 22 right, Detroit. Detroit traffic, Delta 1031 heavy, short final, runway 22 right, Detroit. Landing.
Wide slow. Wide slow. Wide slow. Wide slow. Wide slow. 10, 5.
Keep forgetting to turn that stupid thing off. I keep forgetting it's 2 clicks of the disconnect. Get it off there. Yeah, that's, I have to hit it. I forgot I have to hit it twice. All right, we'll go ahead and stop right here for just a quick second. Parking brake set, spoilers coming down, flaps coming up. Detroit traffic, Delta 1031, heavy, clear of 22 right at Alpha 2, taxiing to the McNamara terminal via Alpha, Quebec, Detroit. Ah, nice. Detroit will be my hometown here pretty soon, in a couple of months. I'm relocating back home to Michigan from Atlanta. Okay, now why are... There we go, A24. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Detroit Metropolitan Airport. Current flight simulator local time is 4:44 p.m. local. We're in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. So I made my own slight modifications of the McNamara terminal based on Google Maps. Probably do a little bit more to the airport as time goes. There's our gate right ahead on the right, Alpha 24. Parking brake set. Peripheral power available. Let's start our deboarding process. Okay, go ahead and disconnect from mode C. Go ahead and wrap our flight. 50 minutes. We're about 4 minutes late getting into Detroit, but that's okay. Adjusted. Now we decide to recreate. Exactly a freighter, but there we go. Flight is pirate. Exit out of A cars, exit out of here. Go ahead and disconnect off VATSIM network and close out of there. And that is going to do it for tonight's live stream. Appreciate everybody stopping by to keep me company. Frank, MG Butters, Nebulation, my wonderful mom, and my better half, Rebecca. Thanks for stopping in and joining me today. Probably no live stream tomorrow. Got some stuff going on, so next flight will probably be Sunday. Maybe we'll go Detroit to my actual hometown of Traverse City for a quick little trip a little further up north into Michigan. So with that, thank you all so much for joining the live stream tonight. Hit that like button, support the channel by subscribing, leave me a comment in the comment section, or join me in the next live stream and say hi. Except for Nebulation, who says he won't be here for the next 2 weeks. Whatever you've got planned, my friend, you have fun, stay safe. We'll definitely see you in the next live stream, but on behalf of myself, thanks so much for joining. Have a great rest of your Friday evening. Have a great weekend. I will see you all on Sunday. In the meantime, be good, be safe, If you're flying the virtual skies, blue skies, and tailwinds, you shall be blessed with. We'll see you on the next live stream. See ya! Bye.